Hi, this is Melanie Brown. Welcome to Finding the Word. Today's word is pouring. Oh my gosh, is it pouring? Was the word. So, my daughter's shower was busted some kind of way. She had pulled on the handle, and when she pulled on the handle, it yanked something out of the wall. I can't remember what it was called, but whatever broke off, the water would no longer turn on. So, we have a home warranty service, but we also had another shower with the same situation. Maybe they wear out over a certain period of time, and because of the age of the house, I'm assuming it's time for these things. So it's like all these bathroom issues. So they were already, apparently, you can only do one thing at a time. They were already working on that issue with the shower that was downstairs. That one is running only cold water, has no hot water. Okay, so because they were dealing with the one downstairs, plus my husband had already kind of started on it, so he was like, and that's O. If you ever heard me refer to O is my husband. His name's Orlando, but I call him O. Anyway, so O has already decided, he could do this. He's gonna fix the one upstairs. Like he can figure it out. But this had been going on for weeks. So might have been over a month or so. So she's been taking showers in our room and things like that. So she's like, okay, you got to fix my shower, Dad. Please, you got to do it. I'm going to be, she was going out of town. She wanted him to do it before she got back. Then she gets back and she's like, you got to do it. You got to, because I'm tired of having to wash my hair in there and stuff. So anyway, he sets out, he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So the water needed to be shut off, which he knew. And he remembered, he knew where the water gets shut off, the main valve was located. But he was going in just to kind of take a peek, see what's happening, gather, how you get an idea, what do I need to get, what do I need to do? So next thing you know, I'm downstairs talking to some children, about something. We're just in the middle of a discussion. And we hear pouring. There it is, pouring. And I mean, do y'all hear something pouring out? Seriously, pouring out water, just gushing, So they're like, yeah. So we jump up and go and everything. And we walk down the hall to where we hear it. And it's the bathroom in the hallway, the half bath. And I look up, water is pouring out of the light fixture in the hallway. I open the door to the bathroom, it is gushing, pouring. When it's raining real hard and you know how your gutters are splashing water out there, just pouring because it's too much overflow, they can't hold it. So that's what it was doing, coming out of the bathroom fan and the fixture up there, on the vent. So we're kind of frozen in get something, do something, but you're kind of almost what in the world are we going to do? So we run, you get a bucket, but it was just pooling, it was just pouring and just put in the hallway. So then the bathroom rug. And so we get a giant, one of those giant containers they sell at Costco that's black with the yellow lids. We put one of those in the bathroom and start catching all the water. We had a bucket, which we had to keep dumping in the hallway with gushing. But I'm like, oh, what's going on? So I'm looking for him and he's like, I know, don't even say it. I already know. And so he's outside digging in the place where you shut the main thing off. He's digging and just with his hands. And I'm like, are you looking for the shut? He's like, I'm looking for the shut off valve. So I'm like, he's like, I know where it is. I'm like, I think it's on the other side. There's two sides. I think it's in there. Well, eventually a few minutes later, it was in there. But now we need some pliers because it wasn't twisting my hand. Okay, we need pliers. Guys, we need pliers. So we're running. So here's some pliers. So we run back out. Yeah, a little bit later. Okay, it's off. Now, we're sloshing and watering the carpet upstairs. It is pushing all out of the carpet. Water pours out and drips out for minutes later, even after the water was shut off. But when I came back in and I was walking down the hall, that was the funny thing. It was pouring, just pouring flew out. So this is one of those instances where when the word comes through, so it comes through really clear right in the middle of the circumstance to where you're kind of almost excited And it is helpful. I'm going to tell you it is helpful because what you're doing is you're hearing the Spirit. You're hearing from the Spirit right in the middle of this, whatever the thing. And when it's something difficult like that, because it really was a big mess, it was kind of like, oh, and so me, the kids were like, this is bad. You were like, yeah, this is bad. And so, but when you hear the Spirit say pouring to you, you're like, ooh, what am I going to find? Like, what is the word going to tell me? Where's the word pouring going to take me? But anyway, 2 hours later, we both had shampooers, where we put the shampooers on the dry cycle, where it just dries, and shop vac was downstairs, and we're hours with the shampooers pulling the water out, just pulling it and dumping and pulling. Anyway, it all got cleaned up, and he's like, okay, the water's off. He goes and gets the part, comes back. We're still shampooing out the water and sucking it out of the carpet. And he's like, all right, I'm turning it back on. I think it's done. And check for leaks, so we're like, my son yells, no leaks. And then I yell out the door, no leaks. And we're like, yes. So I was like, you did it. We're high-fiving. I'm like, you killed honey. Forget all the water. You did it. You should have been a plumber. So anyway, so the word is pouring. And the scripture is Philippians 2:17. And I'm going to start with 14. Do everything without complaining and arguing, so that no one can criticize you. Live clean, innocent lives as children of God, shining like bright lights in a world full of crooked and perverse people. Hold firmly to the word of life. Then, on the day of Christ's return, I will be proud that I did not run the race in vain, and that my work was not useless. But I will rejoice even if I lose my life, pouring it out like a liquid offering to God, just like your faithful service is an offering to God. And I want all of you to share that joy. Yes, you should rejoice, and I will share your joy. So, this was really good to me. Like, do everything without complaining and arguing. And I didn't think about this, but I mean, we really had to, it was like, let's just get the water out. Let's not complain. Let's not sit here and carry on about it. Who's going to do this part? Why am I suction for so long? And no complaining, just get it done. Live clean, innocent lives as children of God. I love that. Shining like bright lights in a world full of crooked and perverse people. This is difficult sometimes. And it is difficult at times to not be complaining or criticizing, especially if you're on a job where there is a lot seeming to complain about and criticize about. But we can absolutely do that and form a habit. So the more we hear ourselves beginning to complain and then we don't. And I will say, I have to be honest, there was a time probably where this could have turned, because, I would have been like, why didn't you shut the water off first? Like, why doesn't it make any sense? And why would you now look at this mess, and I told you should have let those people do it. But, honestly, there could have been, not necessarily in a really ugly way, but I just would have maybe thought more to do that. But you've learned, as time goes on, 30 years in a relationship, where you're saying, what difference does that make? So I come back and say what we should have and did it. It matters not. It was just, you did a wonderful job, dear. Clean, you're killing it. I was like, babe, look, you're on it. Stuff is happening. You are fixing it, and that's it. So, anyway, that is the word. And so I hope that you have a wonderful day and that you find the word as you go about that day. And I will see you soon.